Welcome back to A Potent Dose of 3. My name is Jazz.
And I'm Linda.
My name is Kathy, and we're bringing you your weekly dose.
So, Kathy, last week we heard Jasmine talk about why she wants to be a doctor. Can you tell the listeners why you want to be a nurse?
Yeah, of course. So everything started since I was little. I wanted to become a doctor. But then when I was little, I lived in Colombia. And then I moved here to the United States when I was about to turn 12. So during middle school and high school, I was still under the impression that I wanted to be pre-med. I applied to state schools. I got accepted to San Francisco State. I did the pre-med route, and because I was working 3 jobs and I was going to school full time and I'm working at the same time, and I had to commute, I wasn't doing like as great as I should. Mm-hmm. So my GPA was not it after I graduated. And I know for medical school, you need to have like a 4.0 and all these things. That's what I thought.
So competitive.
But that's not true, just so you know.
Yeah, I know now, but like that was my mentality after I graduated. And then, so after I graduated, I'm like, well, I cannot go to medical school because I don't have the GPA. And then after I did the shadowing, I was like, okay, maybe I could go to postbac. But I was like, well, I was told postbac wasn't good. That's what I was told. Now I know better.
But by who? I'm curious because I feel like a lot of people got a lot to say when they're not in their shoes themselves.
Yeah,
I'm curious to know who told you that.
So it was like,
come on, spill the beans.
It was like my classmates. They were like, no, they're just trying to take your money. Like they're not really
classmates.
Yes,
undergrad classmates.
Yeah,
not post-bac, not medical classmates.
No. So, yeah, now I know I was listening to the wrong crowd. But then they're like, it's just expensive. They're just trying to take your money. And then that's why I questioned Jasmine so much about, hey, how was the process and all this? Because it was totally different from what she told me to what I was told.
Yeah.
But then after that, I'm like, okay, maybe I could just like save up money because I know postbac is not cheap. No. So I'm like, maybe I could save up some money and then try to go through that route. But then in the meantime, I need to like get my GPA up and start doing like more volunteering because, I was working my whole undergrad. So I'm like, I need to build up my resume. So I started shadowing doctors. And when I started shadowing them, I wasn't like, yeah, they do. Like, don't get me wrong. They do a great job.
You don't got to be nice because Jasmine right here. She wants to be.
But it wasn't like what I wanted to be. I didn't want to, that wasn't it for me. And then I started to think, well, what am I going to do with my life? Because I don't have a great GPA because as an undergrad, I was working 3 jobs and I was a full-time student. And I was just trying to figure out what was going to be my next step. So then I was like, okay, let me wait. I was like, okay, so pre-med's out. So let me think, what else do I want to be? So I was like, well, maybe I could be a physician assistant. And that it wasn't like the calling. Like, I feel like it's always like, if you're going to do something for the rest of your life, it has to be something that you like and that you enjoy it. So that's what I was looking for. Like, I knew I wanted to help people and I knew I wanted to be in the healthcare field, but I didn't know what. So then I started thinking, and then I started thinking that, so when I was in high school, I got hit by a car, like before becoming a freshman. And that was a really hard time for me because I was starting a new school, I was meeting new people, and when they rushed me into the emergency room, the doctor said that it was a miracle that I was alive because the guy was coming 50 miles per hour. So I flew in the air 15 feet away. And then through that hard time, the nurses, they were there for me to like really help me get better because I couldn't walk. I was going like in and out of like pain medications, and they were just really there for me, not only like to help me get better physically, but also mentally. So then I started thinking, well, that was a hard time. And then I really remember the nurses, and I was really mean to them because I couldn't really eat because I had like a busted lip. And then one time one of the nurses asked me what I wanted to eat. And then I said, oh, I want like pizza or something, like something that's not like hospital food. And then he brought it to me and it burned me because I was like in a lot of pain. And I yelled at him because he was a guy nurse. And I apologized afterwards because that was really like, it wasn't fair to him. I was just frustrated at the situation. And then another situation that I had during undergrad, that it was when I had my miscarriage. And then I find out like, so I went to different doctors because I wasn't like really educated in this subject. And then like not a lot of doctors were really educating me about, and I keep going through like different doctors because I keep bleeding for like 2 months. And then when I finally went to Highland Hospital, then the nurse practitioner that helped me, she was the only one who like really took time to educate me and help me through those hard times. So when I started thinking about these situations that I've been in the past, I'm like, that's what I want to do. I want to like help people and I want to educate them.
Right, because they were there for you and they showed you how important it was to have someone there when you're scared, you don't know what you're doing, where to go. And yeah, I can see how that can really like, you know, get you into wanting to go to nursing school. That's amazing.
Yeah, so that's why I chose it, because I want to be there through like the harder times for other people, and I want to educate them, because sometimes, like, you know, not everybody knows about the disease or whatever they're going through. So if I could help you get better and I can help you by educating you, that's what I want to do, and that's why I want to be there right next to like working one-to-one with the patient.
Yeah, and like I see like how you're saying nursing, it's more than just healing the person physically. You're there for the patient mentally, and you know that makes a big difference in the patient's outcome too.
And it's like, you know, during those times, like you need people there to support you. Like it's for a lot of patients, could be like the hardest moments of their life. So you need like a strong support team, and like for you to be, you were a patient before, so you know how it is to be on the other side. And because you do understand, like when you're a provider yourself, because you understand, you'll be able to provide like the best care ever, because you know how it is to be in their shoes. So I feel like that's amazing. Basically give back.
Yes, because even like through now, like even though this happened years ago, I'm so thankful to them, because if they weren't being right next to me, or they wouldn't like been there like, honey, I was there when you are right now. Like I know a miscarriage is really hard. Like just be there. I don't think I would have make it through like the whole episode. So yeah, that's why I want to become a nurse. So then I became to the realization that I wanted to become a nurse. But then I'm like, shoot, like I already graduated. What do I do now? Because keep in mind, I'm not really familiar with the school system here. I'm more familiar with the school system in Colombia. Okay. So I was like, what do I do now? Who do I ask for help? A lot of my friends, they were going through like pre-med route. So I'm like who do I ask? So then I started, like some of my friends, they did apply to nursing. But I was like, I had to like take some other prereqs for the nursing school, because I had not taken those prereqs or those classes as an undergrad. So then I started to think about it, and I started to like, okay, I need to start making connections with people that are in nursing school or that are nurses, so they could guide me and tell me what do I have to do in order for me to get into nursing or into a nursing school or whatever. So then I went to the birthday party, Linda's birthday party.
Oh yeah, what year was that? Maybe 2019. Yes. I know I moved back in 2019. Oh, it had to be 2019.
It was 2019.
Yeah, because of the pandemic. So it was 2019.
It was 2019. And then I was talking to Linda, because I know Linda wanted to be a nurse. And I was like, girl, what are you doing? Like, what do you have to do? And then she talked to me about becoming a CNA. And then because, you know, just to get my feet a little wet.
Yeah, to build up your resume. Especially because she was like, Kathy was similar to me. We did not have the best GPAs, so you need to literally stand out in other aspects.
Right.
CNA, it's good because it gives you bedside manners.
Right. And then Linda was able to give me so much information, because I was like, well, since I already graduated, what do I do to get back in there? Like, I didn't know. And Linda was like, well, you could go, like, there are programs that even if you have an undergraduate degree.
Oh, in something other than nursing, you're right. Yeah.
Yes. In something other than nursing, you could still, like, apply. And then we could go, like, they could, like, you know.
Right.
So then I started looking through programs, but guess what? There wasn't a lot of programs around down here. There was a lot in LA, And I was like, well, I was willing, like, okay, I'm willing to move because I want to pursue my dream, right? So then I was like, I was debating in becoming a CNA or becoming a medical assistant in order to build up my resume. I became a medical assistant, but it was hard for me to get like the externship in order for me to like get my certificate. And I was like, okay, forget that. So I did a CNA and I got my CNA certificate and I started working as a CNA. But then in the meantime, I was still like applying to these schools. And it was hard because there wasn't a lot here. And even the ones in LA, there wasn't like their websites. They didn't work. They didn't give enough information.
Yeah. And she's referring to entry level nursing programs. So there's a lot of like just regular nursing programs, right. But entry level, which is a program she applied to because she had a undergrad degree in something else. There's only like 3 in the Bay Area and maybe like 3 in Southern California.
And they're very competitive here in the Bay Area. Especially because keep in mind, my GPA was bad. Yeah. So I had to look at one that, okay, maybe just looked at my science classes or maybe that like look at 60 credits and like add it up. So it was a whole math thing that I had to do. I had to like really look into these things. So then I started applying to different schools and I still getting rejected and rejected and rejected. I don't even know how many times.
And that's okay because eventually you'll get in.
Yeah, because I got rejected in one of the universities in like San Francisco, like I want to say 2 or 3 times. And I always ask like, hey, what do I have to do to get in? Like what for the next like?
And they had rolling admissions. That's the reason why it sounds like a lot. Well, yeah, but yeah, there's some, they do applications like once a year. And then the school you're talking about, they did it, like 3 times a year?
Yeah.
Assholes. I'm just kidding.
So then I feel like my greater support system was Linda because I'll go like, dude, they deny me again and I don't know what to do. And then she was like, okay, no, like we need to sit down. We need to make a plan. Like here are the schools. Like she gave me so much information that I wish like it could be there. Like, so, you know what I'm saying? Like what happened if I would have known you?
Yeah.
Like I would probably just give up and would have like go somewhere else.
Because honestly, I knew all this information because I was going through it myself. So I already was going through the process. I was like, oh, here you go. I did all the research and all the information. Here's the answers for you to kind of make your life a little easier.
But does that make you question how many other people are in your place that are like, I don't know what to do, I'm stuck, and then they don't pursue it because they feel like there's no other way?
And they don't have the help.
And they don't have the resources.
Yep.
Yes. I totally agree. I feel like I'm not alone. I hope I'm not alone.
No, you're definitely not alone.
And then that's why I want to give these resources in this podcast, like later on. And like, if anybody has questions, welcome like to DM us or message us. And then we'll be like happy to help you.
No, yeah, definitely. I mean, I feel like I'm sure you guys all feel the same way. Like I've made a lot of errors in my journey and maybe you've had a lot of roadblocks and we've all discovered things that could be useful for others. And honestly, this is why we're here to create this community because at the end of the day, I want us all to be successful.
Me too.
Yes, same. So then afterwards, Linda talked to me about this school where she's... and then
I'm gonna go ding for that part.
And then we went through like this seminar.
Yeah, nursing seminar.
Yeah, we went to this nursing seminar. And then we had to apply. Like you cannot just come in. Like you have to apply and they have to like approve you to come.
You have to answer questions, like a personal statement.
Yes, right. A personal statement and all that.
For the seminar?
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
It was an amazing seminar.
It was
3 days.
It changed my life and
Really?
I'm grateful. Yes.
Same. It changed my life.
I fell in love with the program and I felt like that school is here for me.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because the other schools, like we will literally email them, call them like, hey, okay, you rejected me, but what was the reason?
Yeah.
Like what can I fix for you to like in the next application period, you could, accept me. They were like, oh, didn't you read the email? I'm like, well, yeah, the email says that you rejected.
Yeah, it's a generic email that they sent to everybody.
Right.
So they were not helping at all.
Right. And then then I applied to a school here in the Bay. And the first time that I applied, they put me in the waiting list. The second time I got denied. And the third time.
Third time's a charm.
Yes. The third time I got accepted.
Hey.
Yes.
But you got accepted into 2 programs.
Yes, I did.
That's,
that was
see,
Man, she
that's
thought good. They both want her.
Exactly, both schools wanted you.
Yeah, it was kind of hard because the year that I got denied, I called Linda crying because I was like, I feel like this is not for me, and I was pregnant at the time, and Linda was like, dude, it's God's timing. Maybe this is like that's the reason why you got rejected, because you're pregnant. Like, how are you gonna be pregnant and be in the program? Like, it's gonna be too much for you.
Hold up, let me just give a little disclaimer. I didn't mean that because you were pregnant, it would have been hard for you, blah, 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 blah. So the goal was for us, both of us, to apply to Azusa Pacific. I had got accepted, and I told you, apply anyways, and then we both can move out there and go to school. And you said that, you'll do like a long distance relationship with your husband. Yes. And everything. So that was the goal. So I was saying, when you found out later on that you were pregnant, it's like, it would have been very hard for you to like raise a kid in a city where you don't have any family and basically be alone. So that was the whole.
You were just looking out for her.
Yeah, and that's definitely true because I have a really an amazing support system with my family, and that's what make it work right now. Because if it was in LA, I don't know what I would have done. But yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
I remember when I didn't get accepted into my program, I was very devastated too. And you said that, right now, maybe not the time because, things were going on in my life, and you were right. And then I got accepted into the program and I ended up meeting people that I loved. So things do really happen for a reason. Yeah.
Yes, yeah. I agree. I agree. Yeah.
So
all in God's timing.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
And then, so I was like, well, okay, maybe Linda is right. Like I should, like it was God's timing. So then this time I applied. I was like, okay, I'm just going to apply to 2 programs just to have a backup because now I'm like 28. I feel like I'm getting old. I have a baby. So I feel like I needed to get my everything together.
Get your shit together.
Pretty much.
So I applied to an ABSM program, and then I applied to the entry-level Masters of Science of Nursing program. And the ABSM program accepted me. And the LMSM program, they didn't say anything. Like, they didn't deny me. They didn't accept me. So I was like kind of in limbo.
She was on wait list, girl.
Yes.
Yeah, that was good.
Oh, yeah, I was in wait list.
You're close.
I was number 2. I was number 2.
And I was telling her, like, if you're anything under 5, it's a very high chance you're getting in.
Right. So then I was number 2. And then I wouldn't say a month or weeks before the ABSM program started, then I got accepted to the LMSM program. And then it was like a pick and choose. Now they even told me, they're like, you get to choose which program do you want to attend. And then I talked to Linda again. And I was like, well, help me out with the pros and cons. Like, I don't know which one to pick. But then I'm like, well, I want to become an NP. So, FNP. So,
to me, that wasn't a hard decision for you to pick. You should already know.
Yeah. So I was like, I'm going to pick the LMSM program because that's the right track for me. And that's going to get me to my goal, which is to become an FNP. And that's where I'm at right now. I just finished my first semester. It was hard.
Okay.
Yeah. And now I'm getting ready for my second semester and just trying to do my best, give my best, and work hard.
Did you pass your first semester?
I did.
How was
it?
It was intense because I was scared.
But did you do it?
Exactly.
I did it. Like, for the first 2, like, okay. So when I started school, I thought I was going to be able to do it because as an undergrad, I would like pull all-nighters and I would be fine. This time, with a baby,
I can only imagine.
It was a lot. It was a lot. It was a lot, but it was doable. I did fall asleep in some of my group sessions with my classmates, and I wouldn't even notice because I was that tired. But yeah, it was a great experience. I love it.
Yes, congratulations. Congratulations.
Yes.
Look, we both achieved. You completed your first year. I mean, not first year, first semester. Mm-hmm. And I was completed my first year and a half of pre-licensure. Mm-hmm. So we both tipped over.
You got shit done. You did
mm-hmm.
stuff. Good job.
Yes. I feel like other listeners or whoever our listeners are, some would relate to where you're coming from and So it's good that you were able to like share your story and why nursing, because it's hard.
Mm-hmm.
It's so hard to tell like why you chose, and it is not. It's not easy to tell. Sometimes.
No, I feel like the when people ask that question, because you get that question all the time.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
I always get stuck because I'm like, there's like a million reasons why I want to do it.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Yeah, and that's what I was telling Linda. I was like, is the question that we get asked the most, and is the hardest questions to answer.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Wow. Well, thank you for sharing.
Thank you for sharing.
You're welcome.
It was a little hard.
Yeah, it was a little difficult, but
you did. I feel like you did a great job,
and it's gonna make you a great nurse.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
Exactly.
Yeah, that was my journey, guys.
Who's gonna do the closing?
Thank you for sharing.
Definitely follow us on our Instagram at apotentdose3, and you can email us at apotentdose3@gmail.com. Oh, and also follow my personal nursing page, Linda the FNP.